Welcome back to What the Movie. I'm your host, Abel. And on the couch next to me, to my right, is Evan.
Yeah.
And to my left is Kimani.
Hi.
Today we're going to be talking about the movie Close, which is the movie of the week. But before that, we're going to discuss the biggest box office hit of the weekend, John Wick Chapter 4. So I know that all three of us are very excited to talk about it. Kimani, do you want to start us off?
Yeah. Are we going to try to avoid spoilers for a little bit?
No, let's just jump into it.
Okay, let's just jump into it. Yeah. Oh, man. It was a banger. I'll say that to start. I don't know where it lands in the ranking. I've always had a pretty hard time ranking these films. I flip-flop pretty heavily whenever a new one comes out. I'm like, oh, this is my favorite one. But then also, like, there's this aspect about the other movies that make it whatever. But it might be the best one. I don't know. I think it's wild that we got an original decade-long self-contained action franchise that was entirely, its own thing, and it was helmed by the same person, and like the lead was the same person for the whole time, and we didn't get like direct-to-DVD sequels or anything. We just got more and more budget, and it showed. All the side characters were great. They were so good. I love Donnie Yen so much. I love Scott Adkins. Other people can take it from here. We can open it up.
Yeah. What did you think?
We are not talking spoilers, are we? Or are we
No, we are.
Talking spoilers.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Number one, if we are talking spoilers, this is probably the best conclusion, one of the best conclusions to a franchise or to a series I've ever seen. I mean, they really make it finite while also branching out the universe very well. I think all the performances are great. Yes, I'll say even Keanu. I know the line delivery is like, people would make fun of it, but when I was in the audience, like, people laughed and cheered when he would say just one line, because that's what we want, Action movies have one-liners, and I think it elevates the action genre a lot by giving us a lot of creative and cool, I would say tech-heavy like scenes, like one scene in particular, which was the overhead shot where it looks like a video.
The oneer.
It's
Hot
like
One
I've
Miami.
never seen Hotline Miami or Hong Kong Massacre. It's like it's been a minute since I've seen a movie where everybody agrees on something very technical. Everybody goes to see a movie to kind of turn their brain off, but in this movie, it's an action movie where you can turn your brain on because the movie is evolving as it continues. You know what I mean? It was intelligently made. Chad Stahelski, I think is his last name. Incredible direction. Almost 3 hours long. Did not feel it at all. I think the pacing's very good too. I agree with you with all the like side characters. I think Donnie Yen is probably my favorite. Shamir Anderson is Mr. Nobody, amazing. Bill Skarsgård played a very hateable character, down to when dude got shot at the end. Everybody clapped. You know what I mean? Like, that hasn't happened in a long time in a movie. So I'm like, they really made it for the audience experience, and I haven't felt that way since Spider-Man No Way Home. So take that with what you will. So yeah.
I think the sequence that I would say is my favorite is, at least the moment where I laughed the hardest was when
Stairs.
Yes, the stairs. That's what I was going towards.
I continuously, as the scene went on, I was the only person in the theater that was laughing uncomfortably loud at him continuously falling down the stairs. It just kept going.
Well, because he climbs up these stairs.
Yes, he
like
fights
200
20 dudes.
steps, gets knocked down every single one, and there's platforms between every 15 or so
and
stairs.
You think he's gonna stop?
And then he just keeps it's so fake looking, like he's totally pushing himself to do it. And then later he climbs back up and he gets knocked down just one of those sections, and it just doesn't happen again. And it feels really weird because you just watched him. It looks like
is that
after
after he gets up with Donnie Yen?
I don't remember.
I think it's before.
It was the second. I think it was before, because when he finally gets to the bottom, you have this great scene of Donnie Yen telling him to get up, and they fight all the dudes up the stairs. I don't. What's up with that guy playing blind dudes? By the way, they got American movies just love having Donnie Yen be blind.
I was sure that he was actually blind, because I've seen him in Rogue One where
Yeah.
he's
No, he can
he's
see.
blind.
Yeah,
Donnie
it's
Yen.
just he don't like seeing. I guess I don't know. He just put context on. But Scott Adkins, I just gotta say this right now. Very clearly, they took a lot of inspiration from Daredevil. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well,
down to literally his head rising up from the rain, just like that shot from Daredevil. So I'm not saying they copied, but even
He
when I
looked
talk,
like the penguin.
he looked
like Simu Young or Simu Hung, sorry, who is a heavy dude that did like Hong Kong martial arts movies.
Really?
Yeah, no, and he did a movie with Donnie Yen where he was wearing like a purple suit.
Was Donnie Yen blind in that one?
No,
too?
Donnie Yen was not blind in that one. Donnie Yen was not blind in that one. But yeah, no, and that was actually Kayla's design in John Wick 4 was actually a direct reference to that.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, my fault. Sorry.
Also, I didn't think that Scott Adkins was I don't know why, but I thought they were just gonna have Scott Adkins in a fat suit doing like character actor stuff for some reason, even though he's Scott Adkins and he does like martial arts movies.
Yeah.
And then when he got up and started kicking dudes in the fat suit, I lost my mind. It was so funny and so good, and like that sequence was one of my favorite of the whole movie.
Yes.
I think outright my favorite sequence of the film was probably it might have actually been in the beginning with the attack on the Osaka Continental.
Yes.
I thought it was very cool that they reversed the structure of the third movie, where the third movie starts out with John like in the streets being attacked by like everybody and their grandma, and then it ends with the assault on the Continental.
Yes.
And then the fourth movie starts in reverse with the assault on the Continental, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Wow.
With Hiroyuki Sanada, I loved him so much.
I'll say this about him: he never makes it in a movie. Have you noticed that? Like when he was Scorpion in Mortal Kombat, dude didn't.
Well,
I'm like, what is that? Like when he's in a movie, he never really makes it.
He
in.
didn't make it only for him to come back as Scorpion.
True, but he still died. You know what I mean? Like, you do still got off. So I'm
Showed
like,
up in Avengers Endgame for
and
literally
then he
one
died
scene.
in that one too. He always gets seppuku or something. I'm just like, I guess that's just maybe that's his contract. You don't want to do one more movie, but I mean, even the one who played the actress who played her sister. I know she has like a background in like music or something.
Rina
like that.
Sawayama?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like,
Yes,
she was
yes,
great.
no,
I thought she
she-
was going to die.
no,
You know what I mean? Because you got shot in the artery. But you know, there's so many characters I like and I care about, and I
Yeah.
think that's something that makes this movie more than just a great action movie or just some action movie that looks loud. It is a well-made movie, cinematography-wise. Once again, if I was in charge of the Oscars, like. Yeah, I would nominate it for best cinematography. It looks beautiful. I mean, there's even shots that linger just to show you how beautiful things look. It's cost $100 million, half of what most Marvel movies look.
million?
$100 million, and that car sequence did not take
Was that
place in
more or less
location.
than you thought?
That was way less because I mean I know it's rated R, but like it was 3 hours
Yeah,
of just
yeah.
crazy action.
Yeah.
And like the action scenes go on for like 20 minutes. Like
Yeah.
honestly, during the one in Osaka,
Yeah.
there was a point where I was like, this
Oh, it's still going?
Yeah, this has to be over.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
probably like the main part that was really a drag for me. It was like, I know that you shot all this cool like action stuff, and I know that it's
sumo
really
goons.
impressive for
Yeah.
like stunt work and stuff, but like for the pacing of the movie, let's just clip out maybe. There's like 5 minutes of that fight that you could trim out, and it would make it a better movie.
But you wouldn't have the nunchucks. You
I,
wouldn't have, you wouldn't have Donnie Yen being like, "Are you dead,
I would
John Wick?"
argue
Yeah.
otherwise. I would actually argue that we needed more time with those big sumo dudes that they didn't
Oh,
really show
yeah,
that much.
that
I
was
needed to
dope.
see more
Yeah.
of those guys manhandling
That was
dudes.
cool. Yeah, I mean, this movie's so creative, and I think honestly that's why I love it more than any other movie I've seen this entire year. Is that they used it was truly blood, sweat, and tears making this movie. Hence why I think I'm happy that it's the last of the John Wick mainline stuff, because it's like, how are you going to top this? They might find a way, but like, how are you going to top this?
They have the Continental show.
Yeah.
And the ballerina.
Ballerina one, which they already shot.
Wild.
It's funny that I guess there's talks that they're questioning about making another one just because like this one did so well.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'd rather see a spin-off. I'd rather see a movie about like Donnie Yen or something. I'd rather see a movie about Kane, which I think is in talks, but it's kind of like up in the air because he doesn't know what he's going to do next.
Did you see the end credit scene?
Wait, what?
There's an end credit scene.
Oh, there was an end credit scene?
Yep, in the very, very end. I looked it up
Rina
before I...
Sawayama.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know
coming back
that.
to try to assassinate him because she said that in the movie. I was like, why would they take that out? Why did they say that? Is because they're setting it up. So yeah, I love this movie. I think it is a masterpiece, despite Yes, Keanu Reeves' line delivery. I think it's a lot of fun. You know, not every movie needs to, I guess, teach you a lesson or like have a moral high ground. There are movies that are there where you're supposed to watch it with the community and just have fun and escape. And I feel like this is the biggest escapism I've seen this entire year, even more than some of the superhero movies. So I loved it. It was great. So.
Yeah, I would give it like a 7 out of 10. I guess it's the same score I give like all of the John Wick movies, because I honestly, like, I know the first one and I know this one because I just saw it, and the 2 and 3 just kind of meld together in my brain as like just a collection of cameos and action
Sounds and
sequences.
images,
Yeah. I'm just very, like you said earlier, I'm really like impressed that an R-rated action movie has been able to carry a 4-movie long franchise where the budgets get bigger and the like box office gets bigger every single time, and like they never seem to dip in quality.
Yeah.
It seems like a total anomaly from like
It's genuinely a miracle, in my opinion, that these movies exist in the way that they do.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think we're going to get another thing like them for a very long time.
Yeah. Oh, one last thing I'll say. Sound design and the score or the music, perfection.
very good.
That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give it a 10 out of 10 if we're doing ratings. And it's my favorite one. So.
I didn't know we were going to do ratings.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't usually rate things. I mean, like, personally, like, personal enjoyment and, like, in terms of, like, how much I appreciate it, it's, like, definitely a 10. But, like, I don't know. I guess it's not, like, the tightest script ever or whatever, but who cares?
Yeah, the script just, it feels like they made it bad on purpose.
Oh, yeah.
Which
I mean,
is totally fine.
Yeah, it's very wacky. And everyone's saying just, like, metaphors at each other all the time. It's amazing. I love it. It's so good.
Exactly.
Keanu Reeves will do a little Ryan Gosling from Drive impression and just sit there and just...
He always does that head nod every time he says anything. He just always just has.
He puts his head into it.
I would love to see him just like take on like act as John Wick in like any other movie.
A normal movie.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, some SNL skit probably gonna do it before.
I was just about to say.
Yeah, I'm like, they're gonna do that unfunny thing where it's like, look, if this person was in this different situation. So, all right.
Let's move on then. Yeah, we'll talk about the movie Close. Directed by Lucas Don't. I don't know how to pronounce it. I believe it's a Belgian movie.
Yes, it is a Belgian
There's
movie.
like, they switch between languages a lot.
I thought they were speaking French sometimes.
Yeah,
no?
they're speaking French
Okay,
quite a bit,
I was about to say, like,
but it's
because
set in
I took
Belgium.
a lot of French. Okay, a lot is a very big choice of words, but I took some French in high school, and I was like, oh, they're speaking French. And I thought it was a French movie for a very long time, and then I looked up and it was Belgian. I was like, what
Okay.
what were they speaking the whole time? Yeah, no, it was
The
French. most of the time.
subtitles kept saying like they're switching languages.
Oh, I watched
and
on.
stuff.
I just watched on YouTube, so it was just like the
Okay.
subtitles. But
That
yeah,
makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, we will be talking about spoilers, of course, and the movie does revolve around some pretty harsh subjects that some viewers might not be comfortable with. So it does. The movie does involve suicide and stuff like that. Although I will say that it was depicted very tastefully. And
Yeah.
What did you think, Evan?
I thought it was a great movie, and the movie. I think the best way I could say it is the movie speaks for itself. It is. I think that the acting is fantastic for a child actor to do all of that and carry a movie the way that he did with a supporting actor. That's gone for basically most of the movie. It was really cool to see, and I feel like the cinematography great. I think the score only has like 2 tracks in there. It's not really in there in the movie. And the pacing is slow, but it's not boring. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've seen very pretentious films that get nominated for things, and I think this one is definitely one of the better ones. A24, but also doesn't really say the word. They don't really talk about it in detail. It is just something that is shown visually, and visual storytelling, I think, is stronger than just telling, you know what I mean, than just dialogue. And yeah, I think really just overall, my eyes were watery for 2/3 of that movie. So, you know, once they got in that bus and it stopped, once it stopped, and they didn't say what happened, they showed you it later, I was kind of like, oh crap, did this happen? And it did. So it definitely affected me emotionally, not to the point of crying, but just like, my heart getting broken and stuff like that. So it worked. It worked.
I definitely thought that the editing had a lot of really good choices in it about like just like random cuts between scenes that seem kind of like very like purposely placed, but also like putting you on like a shaky frame of mind. And I, like you said, the lead actor was like amazing. That's his first movie, I believe, and just one of the best performances I've seen. And like, I'm always shaky and hesitant about movies with child actors in them because it used to be that they were just always gonna be terrible.
Like
but
Phantom Menace level terrible. Yeah.
But like, it seems like the past 10 years there's been like a child actor renaissance.
Like Jacob Tremblay and
I think it's because they only cast children that can actually be confident child actors now. They don't just like, whatever, it's a cute kid, whatever.
It's just very impressive, like the amount of levels that like a lot of these child actors have to go through these
and can
days.
do better than some adults. It's crazy.
100%. Yeah.
As for what I had to say, what I have to say about the movie, I think Evan is right. I think it very much does speak for itself. I think I'm probably on the couch. I'm probably the person here that liked it the least, but I wouldn't say it was bad by any means. I would still say it was a good movie, great movie. I think my only thing would maybe be that I think the pacing. I think the pacing was maybe weird, not because I think it was too slow, but I think that the movie could have maybe done with Remy more in it. Personally, I think that it could have done more with exploring their relationship and kind of, I guess, not foreshadowing, because with the way mental health like works in real life, it's not like people kind of telegraph that they're going to take their own lives. But I think that there was very little indication that Remy was like troubled in that way. And then I thought that it was kind of a really strange, emotionally like it works in the moment, but I thought it was kind of a strange turn pacing wise for it to happen so early in the story for him to take his own life over his relationship with Leo becoming more like strained. I was kind of expecting that portion of the story to take place over a longer course of time, and for the part of the movie that's about grieving over Remy's loss to be shorter. But overall, I think it was still strong. I would still say yes, that the performances were, and I would say that the main reason why I wanted Remy more in the movie was that I think his actor was killing it. I thought he was doing as well as Leo's actor, and I thought that their chemistry was like the most like believable part of the movie.
It is.
So yeah, overall I would say it was still pretty strong. I liked it.
I will agree with you on one thing that you put in the group chat, is that I think the writing was my least favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, I would say that.
It was very like, are you sad? I'm sad too. Dang. Well, you want to talk about it? And he just walks away, and it's like, okay, dude. It's like 5 times that happens. I'm like, dude, you just gonna. But
I'm gonna defend the writing here for a second.
Okay, my fault.
Like, I feel like it was very realistic and free flowing, and like all of the performances were like none of the lines ever came out, and I was like, that person would definitely not say that. Like, and like structurally, I liked how there's the big event happens in the middle of the movie, and it's just like normal life before that, and then it's like dealing with the loss from the other side. And I feel like a lot of like the main theme of the movie is just like being in touch with your emotions and being able to like confront them. And it feels like Leo, like they're like, he is a kid, like he's not used to heavy subjects like this and like dealing with these things. And
well, specifically from like a masculine perspective too.
For sure.
I guess I wanted to say like something to clarify from what I was saying before I watched, or like before we recorded, was I guess my issue with the script isn't necessarily in the dialogue. It's more of like I said, kind of in the screenplay, of more of having Remy decide to take his life earlier on in the story rather than later. But I do think that the way that Leo talked about talked about and processed like his grief was actually pretty realistic, though.
do you have any closing thoughts?
My closing,
That was
one
it.
pun intended.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Closing
geez.
thoughts. Great movie. It's now kind of cheap on Apple. Go watch it if you want to watch it. The end. It's a good movie. I don't have that much to say.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
The camera's really close. The camera's really close. It was actually it was like a fun thing because it replicates the way everything feels like really big when you're a kid. Yeah, liked it enough.
I definitely enjoyed it, and if it sounds like your kind of thing, I would definitely recommend watching it. Not sure what I would really rate it. I think I'd have to let it settle in for a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyways, let's move on to the best part of the show.
Yes.
Picking
I
the
get to
movie
pick
for
it
next
today.
week.
Oh man.
What's it gonna be?
I'm
Evan?
not gonna look at it.
I gotta
hope
do
it's
it
not
next
that
week.
long movie. I swear if it is. It's one of mine, The Abyss from James Cameron.
Oh.
I've never seen this movie.
Oh, a James Cameron movie I haven't seen actually.
Yes, it's the one that I don't think anybody's seen. But dude, that's awesome. Okay, The Abyss. We're gonna watch that one next episode and talk about it. So
Perfect. Yeah.
yeah.
We'll see you next week when we talk about The Abyss on What the Movie. Take care.
Snowbound Sound.